Hey guys, Dungeon J here. Today we're going to be taking a peek at a top-down wave-based shooter called Nation Red. We're blowing up zombie wave after wave is as normal as ice is cold. Developed and released by Diesel Power back in 2010, this ultra-fast-paced zombie-slaying top-down shooter throws frantic gameplay with perks and weapons galore and mini-bosses included as well. Now, with some age on the title and the player base about sputtered out, the question is asked, is it still worth buying? If you like what I have to say, well, maybe subscribe. Gameplay and storyline. I would like to say there is some storyline progression or even an outsourced fan-made story, but Nation Red doesn't stop at the small stuff and it goes straight into gameplay with guns blazing. Now, the controls are spot on and the AI, while not the smartest, is consistent in one thing: going after their target. When being swarmed by zombies, this is probably the best gameplay mechanic to have. There's no wandering zombie at the corner of the map walking in circles. Each spawned enemy lumbers indefinitely after the objective, which just happens to be you most of the time. As you melee or gun down zombies at various points, a weapon or a special item may drop. Just because the item dropped doesn't mean it is something you should instantly pick up, as you may be working on the perk system that opens up your gameplay as you level throughout the wave. This is where the game excels at, having options. First, you're going to select the style of class you want, if you want a sniper, gunner, medic, or scout. Now, each class comes with a starting primary weapon and abilities that will vary slightly. Now, for example, the gunner deals 25% more damage with explosives. On top of that, the baseline stats like speed, healing, targeting, accuracy, armor, and reload speed will also be percentage based as well. And it seems that the core mechanics of the games are based around this percentile. So if you pick a medic, then obviously their healing will be better at the start of their wave versus a scout. Next comes perks. Now, perks are an option that you get as you level up inside the wave. Slaying zombies in consecutive order will earn you quicker experience, which will lead you to leveling faster. Now, if you have the option to bundle up the zombies before doing a massive explosion or mowing them down with an assault rifle, I suggest doing so. Once you level, there'll be a random style of perks that you can option into and pause the game to select. Now, depending on the style of wave, does it have a mini boss or defending a point, will help you mitigate which perk style to select. As it progresses, the perk option will reflect your choices, as some perks require previous ones to work. An example of a simple perk is Aftershock, which releases a supersonic shockwave at regular intervals, pushing back and wounding enemies all around you. From my vantage point, the single player option has a lot of different modes, which include mission mode, survival, and barricade. Now, the mission mode is a standard campaign. You complete each wave to unlock the next until you get done with the 20th wave. Survival mode is interesting is that there's no power-ups or perks to collect, and you simply have to try to live as long as possible with the weapon that you have. Finally, there is barricade mode, which you defend against waves of zombie attacks, and this one will actually have NPC soldiers to help you defend, and actually I found this one the most fun after completing the campaign mode. All total, to complete the campaign mode and spend some time playing with the different modes, I invested about 2.5 hours into the game, so that should give you an idea of how much enjoyment you can get out of this. Unfortunately, the way I see it, the multiplayer is dead, and I really don't see it making a resurgence. Now, unless you're going to invite your friends and buy them a copy or something of that nature, the game's not going to open up and show the same kind of content with all those extra possible combinations of class choices you can do with a teammate beside you. Now, this is really a shame, since I really wanted to try out one of the modes that's called King of the Hill that's included in the game, but unfortunately there's just no one there in the queues to do this with. Now, as a little side note, I wanted to speak briefly about the AI, which for the most part I applaud for doing what they do. Now, however, after doing countless waves, the mini-bosses becomes nothing more than a complex AI to defeat in the oncoming swarm of undead that's already around you. In some ways, this became somewhat of a bullet hell, as with one boss that carries a minigun, I just found standing in an area that he wasn't shooting was the best place to take shelter when I was reloading myself. Overall, they do the job well, the AI, but I couldn't help but feel I wasn't facing off against any real threat other than the sheer number of monsters that the AI will throw at you. Sound and music design. The FX on the guns, bombs, and various power-ups sounds about on target. However, the continuous groans of the ghouls as they lumber to you can become repetitive as an overlay tone. Overall, the sound cues inform you much about what type of weapon you may have accidentally picked up when you're just trying to evade the oncoming army of death, and the zombie moaning is made up for it with the fast-paced riff in the background as you mow down undead after undead. Now, the music on the loading screen and the music in-game fits the atmosphere, and overall there isn't much they could do to improve the feels that you get in this aspect. If anything, because of it being a wave-based shooter, it left little room for atmospheric, creepy spaghetti music or undertones, and it just revs up the gameplay with the faster tempo pieces. As you know, I rate buy, sell, or forget about it, and Nation Red is a buy. It's at a very low price of $2 USD, and there really doesn't seem a point to wait for a sale on this. Now, the gameplay is fast-paced and you can blow through the content in just a couple of hours, but the content is fun, and on those days that you don't have a lot going on and you just want to kill some time, Nation Red is a title that does this job well. Well guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the review. Thumbs up if you did, thumbs down if you didn't. This is Dungeon J signing out. Guys, have a great day gaming. Later.
I'm just walking the line and there's nobody with me.